Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking some Chinese expressions idealizing women. Okay, 出水芙蓉 or 芙蓉出水 was today's expression. 芙蓉出水. 芙蓉 was Chinese two-character combination to describe one English word, which is lotus. I mean, that was rare, right? But we do have some two-character Chinese as a fixed expression. They always pair together. When they pair together, they mean a specific term, or in this case, lotus, the specific plant, and 出水, out of water. So it describes the woman's beauty comparing it to a particular plant. Normally, it was used a lot in Chinese expressions to depict compare women with peach blossom. Okay, probably for the peach. Probably you can check out how peach blossom looks, but probably the color. It's the coloring of the peach that bring out the healthy skin, right? Everything implied about the health status. And lotus, though, on the other hand, well, a lotus got a variety of colors and it has its own unique quality and beauty. But here, comparing a woman's beauty with the lotus flower, and the flower actually is in water, it's not that common, I would say, because a big part of Chinese land was not water prone. Like, I didn't get to see a lotus until very later in life. The part of China I grew up with, missing a lot of plants mentioned in literature. So lotus out of water was a later life experience to see how lotus was like out of water look. But I guess a big part of China was still like a lotus available, and therefore this image of water lily in English was used to describe women. Okay, so Fu Rong, you can see both of them came with this trident shape. Trident shape in this case is plants, it's not a weaponry, not a trident, but it shapes like this. And then Chinese have, in this sense, have an interesting sense of abstraction, because to create a plant symbol, it has this three upward pointing kind of a sharp-ish thing, but the middle one is kind of the peak, and then symmetrically the two on the side, right? That also, I guess, you can see the stroke is easy to draw, kind of like draw a bow shape and then vertical line, and that's plant symbol. So two of them just means multitudes of them, not necessarily two, because plant often comes in clusters, right? And they have their own colony of plants. It's not just one single. Then at the bottom, this one means a grown man, actually. And the grown man, okay, two legs standing being. Okay, Chinese characters have humans in all kinds of shapes. We have kneeling, sitting on the hill humans. We have side view, hunching humans. And we have humans, full frontal view humans standing on two legs. So this is that kind, because it's depicting a grown man, right? So we have to spread out the most visibly, spacious human figure. So the two arms are, going out, and two legs. So the limbs were emphasized, and the size, the spatial sense, it's not like a narrow strip of human, but it's like expanded to the max because it's a fully muscled grown man, right? And then on the top, this cross looking thing, that's the hair pinning ceremony. So when boy grow into a man, his long hair are going to be pinned down into a bun so that it tighten up. You don't have your hair like, tussle around your face. You're clean faced, have the that's the manner or the social expectation of once you're reaching a certain age, at a certain maturity, you need to wear your hair a certain way so that you don't look like somebody who run wild. You're disciplined, you're culturally compliant. Okay, so that's the painting of the hair. And that grown man eventually was used to pair with somebody with a certain profession, like a 大夫 means doctor, or 大夫 or 勇夫 means some bravery soldier, or 丈夫 means husband. So all kinds of grown men, either marital status or professional status, then this character, this grown man, are going to pair with other characters to pin down exactly what that grown man is doing to further label that person. Okay, now the 容 is made of more complicated structure. It has this big arch with a chimney. That means human private space. And then the bottom have this thing with a mouse symbol. That actually means valley. So this thing actually is the trickling of water forming on the mountain. So at the beginning of the water formation, I guess, like, I don't know if you have seen, luckily, I passed by some mountain, like in the middle of the mountain. Then there are water. It happened to be a water channel and happened to be cut by the road, and so you're able to see the intersection, like the cross section of the mountain, where the water actually channeling through and not gushing water on the mountain before they joined, like more streams of water joined together as a creek or stream. That's the initial stage of water formation, is flowing down through the mountain, get purified, filtered that way. And that water, early stage of water, that's not forming as this water. You see, this water is a bigger body water that's in already joined forces of many streams of water coming on together, have a certain speed, can command its own channel, right? Has already its pathway carved out on the mountain or down the river. So that's bigger water, but this is the beginning trickling of water. And the mouse symbol simply means the kind of the entrance to that space. And the whole thing means the valley. I guess that's the formation, the geology of how a valley looks like. And the valley and the private space, or we can view it as a room, together from both human shelter, living space, to the nature, the valley, the beginning of the water formation. Both are two ways of depicting the concept of capacity. So the capacity means you have an empty room. It has the capacity to be filled to your wish, right? And the valley is like you have water, you have a land down the valley, the capacity to produce, to make your colony, to build a village. It's up to you, right? So this kind of like an empty space have the capacity to be built into something, and that both of them express this readiness, this potential, and eventually both of them pair together to mean capacity. So if we regard Fu, have this grown man image, together paired with the plant symbol to depict kind of a grown manish shape of the lotus, the rong was more the inside, the quality, the powdery quality of lotus. The reason why is because this rong, this character, oftentimes is used as, the bean paste or the lotus, when the lotus itself is edible. And when the lotus was grounded into powder form and then put in with liquid to make a paste form, that's called Rong, and it was made into dessert Chinese cuisine. So this Rong then depicts the powdery form of the lotus. So if the Fu is the unprocessed, the natural form of lotus, that's kind of full grown, standing tall, proud, right? And the Rong then depict the inside of that lotus that's potentially can be made into this very sweet taste dessert that's in the Rong form. All right, so Fu Rong together, pre or post-processed food-wise, depict lotus. 出水, so water sign, we already talked about many times. Mainstream of water, uninterrupted, and the two sides are this kind of closer to the bank of the river channel, so easily to be interrupted, therefore it's not a continuous line. So the whole 5 strokes depict water flowing in a kind of a bigger body than the trickling of the beginning of the water. So this is already water visible, have its own channel that's flowing in nature. Okay, 出 have this big cave thing almost, or a hole in the ground, and then have this kind of like a plant excavating from ground. So this plant excavating from the ground then used to depict something's out, something is being taken out. I guess it's mostly being taken out because we also have another character, the Chu, that's a human figure going out of the cave. So humans, they want to go out, but the plants, it's not up to them, right? It's excavate. It's humans taking them out. So they are passively out. So lotus passively out of water. I guess lotus doesn't, in this case, actually, lotus grow above the water, become visible, become, I guess, standing even, if it's a stem, grow higher, it can hovering above the water level. So that's actually actively out of, not passively out of water, even if this character in comparison to humans out, that is passive out. Okay, so 芙蓉出水, I translate it as water lily. So water lily looks like this, okay? This is a picture that when I search water lily, you can see the leaf petal looks like this. And that's the image Chinese like to compare women as. And of course, people try to render water lily moment visually like this girl. And when I searched 芙蓉出水, this picture shows. So I guess she made it to social media back then, probably 2015. So that's probably before social media era, but it's start of individuals or civilians, or not civilians, but ordinary people who are gutsy enough to put themselves out there, right? To draw attention to themselves. So actually, in Chinese, there were this early age cyber celebrity called 芙蓉姐姐, use exactly that character, Lotus, and use Sister Lotus. Okay, Sister Lotus actually was one of the earliest self-made known celebrity, even if she was teased or trolled heavily in our age because it's easy to target a woman of coming from no background, just self-made. But later on in 2015, so this girl, supposedly a schoolgirl, and okay, in Chinese, universities have this unofficial nomination of like the best looking man and woman on campus. So I guess this girl was voted unofficially as the best looking girl on campus. And she was brave enough to present herself online to have a collection of photo shooting of her posing to bring out the message of water lily, to really show off her youth, her body. And I view that as advancement. Okay, so women are proud of how they just naturally came out and have the courage to show that. And of course, I can believe she was trolled as well because it was against the grains of this culture that women, you're supposed to be demure, you're supposed to be modest, right? How can you almost like monetize your body like that? How can you draw attention to your body like that? So that was one of the early, I guess, self-made. But I guess she didn't break out as the stardom as the sister Lotus did, because she keeps creating content and participate in a conversation, almost create her clan, like her people who are their camps of supporting her and negating her. So became even more famous, and the sister Lotus eventually moved to US to get it away from all that. But I guess this girl didn't made more out of it. She used her body to make a statement, but probably didn't leave a deeper mark by participating in such social conversation about how women should look, how women should behave, like how you're going to interpret visually what water lily should look like. All right, but I'm glad I find this picture to illustrate 芙蓉出水. Has she into the currency of thinking about what it is of